Welcome to the Create Harmony podcast with Sally Burlington. This is a podcast about setting an intentional rhythm, about savoring life's blessings and learning how to use our imagination as a way of listening to God. If you want to learn more about how to bring stillness and gratitude into your life, you'll probably find a lot here that you love. And if you like to be creative and fun, there is a place for you here as well. In this place, we'll take a few minutes to celebrate everyday joys and remind ourselves how to notice goodness all around us. Welcome back to episode 28 of the Create Harmony podcast. Now, over the past several weeks, we've been discussing how we can revive our imaginations from our childhoods and make them work within our adult lives. So this is the last week we're going to be discussing this topic. So if you missed our earlier episodes, we discussed how using our imagination can help us calm anxiety. We discussed a few weeks on how to deepen our gratitude. And then last week, we discussed how to use our imagination to see our way out of a tricky situation. So for our last episode on this topic, we're going to go into the most abstract version of this. We are going to be dreaming again this week. We did that some last week. But last week we focused on one particular tricky situation and made a picture of how it could evolve. So this week we're going to go a little more abstract. So we're going to imagine dreams of things that bring us joy. And the reason we're going to do this is because it's a little bit of a sneak peek into some of the topics we're going to be talking about later this spring. We're going to be addressing some topics on joy later. So our dreaming is a little sneak peek into that. For this week's imagination exercise, you are going to bring into focus things that make you feel deeply happy, things that you want more of in your life. It's like you're going to create a little collection of those in your mind and be a good steward of this collection. Don't just list things like more dollars in my bank account, things like that, material things. You can certainly list material things, but fill your list with things that truly give you deep joy and contentment. You can begin to bring those things into focus in your mind now. What you focus on expands. So you're going to begin to focus on these good things, things that you truly love and want more of. See them in detail with your mind's eye. Don't get caught up with doubts about whether you can attain them. That's an exercise for another time. We're not making to-do lists here. We are imagining. Just picture these things clearly. You can expand on your list of blessings and imagine yourself living in abundance. Make these things very specific to you. Let go of pragmatism here. Think about how you would have done this when you were a child. Believe in the possibilities just for a moment. Create your collection of joyful things. And just as in other weeks, this might be something you want to write out or draw about. You want to see it all come together. All right, it's that time again. Bring your awareness back to our podcast. But the good news is, you have your imagination with you all the time. You do not have to be listening to this podcast to do these exercises. This doesn't require special training, and it doesn't cost anything. You can do it pretty much anywhere you are. Now, throughout this series, we talked about the fact that these skills had often been left behind in childhood in favor of more mature thinking. In this, our final episode on the topic, I just want to say a little bit more about that.
In our adult lives, we have to sort out and deal with a lot of pretty difficult issues. And those issues take a lot of wisdom. They take maturity. It takes a lot of thinking through things to face those issues well. And when we look around at these really big problems that we face in the world, we see things like acts of violence. We see the unjust treatment of others. We see massive storms. Sometimes we see climate issues. There are a lot of things. These things are a really big deal. These problems can get a bit overwhelming, and most well-intentioned adults want to be part of the solution, even if we don't know how. So many times we think that being part of the solution involves standing up for what we think is the best solution and the right course of action. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the issue is we don't all agree on a best solution. And therefore, we spend a lot of time arguing over who's best is best. Sometimes I wonder, if we strengthened our gifts of imagination, if we spent more time imagining, would we see more possibilities? Most of the advancement of humankind has come because someone imagined a better way to live. Imagination is not just the possession of inventors or people who consider themselves to be creative. We all possess this gift. And if we cultivated it, it could become a superpower. So don't forget to use yours.
So now we're going to listen to the poetry of someone using their imagination. This poem is by Morgan Harper Nichols, and it comes from her book called You Are Only Just Beginning. And it goes like this. Embrace new ways of thinking. Be gentle with yourself as you learn to let go of the frames that used to shape all of the thoughts buzzing wild in your mind. Replace old structures with stronger ways of thinking. Now is the time to extend grace to yourself. Now is the time to see. Some will learn by listening. Others will learn through doing, and some will need to revisit the same work over and over again. What matters is that you seek to know the ways in which you learn and not to feel shame for the lessons that took a little more time. May you never compare the way you learn to anyone else. May you never judge yourself for slower speeds. Progress at your own pace, right here, right now. Pay close attention to what makes you, you, including the way you take in something new. Thanks so much for joining us, for imagining all of these new possibilities on ways to live and ways to invite imagination into our adult lives. We'll be back next week with a new topic, and until next time, peace.